assassin, hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine. No use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Hush your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smokes. Me running really, really fast. Ginger eye round the back of me black ass. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. Assassin, hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine. No use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Hush your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smoke. Me running really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast.
What is going on, everybody? How we doing today? As usual, hope we're doing well. It's a Tuesday, all right. I think this might be the last Tuesday stream. I think we might be back to the regular schedule next week, but everything's been so fucking crazy for me lately that it's just been a little bit tough. You know, it's been a little bit tough. But what's going on, Cavalog? What's going on, Jackson Levine? Hope we're all doing well tonight, and I hope my microphone is working fine. Excuse me. I've been messing around with it, trying to find out how to troubleshoot certain things, and it's been working a little bit better. But I noticed in the last stream that I had, there was a problem with static, excuse me, or like a crackling noise that was coming on, and that's obviously really annoying. And I'm trying to troubleshoot that right now. And there's a couple of different things that I've done to see if it will fix it. I obviously don't know whether it's fixed or not I watch these streams back. So I couldn't even tell you what's going on. You guys are gonna have to let me know. Other than that, I'm gonna have to excuse me. Other than that, I'm going to have to watch the stream back as I usually do to figure that out. But I hope everything's working out fine. It's really annoying because I've wanted to try and make videos again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but I've wanted to try to make videos again for like at least a few days now. And it's because I have some videos that I could talk about. The thing is, I think they would be maybe not long form, but they would be video essay content. And I would have to try my best to either figure out how I'm going to do these, or I'm going to have to outsource the editing, which I have a couple of people I could use for that. A couple of people who will do that for me if I pay them. It's you know, I'm trying to think about a couple of different things. One of them is I want to talk about the fight game, and I'm going to use myself as an example of why some people don't make it in the fight game, right? Another one is going to be autism, and I'm actually doing a little bit of research on the subject of autism so that I can maybe make a video, and I'm finding some pretty weird shit. I gotta be honest with you guys. But anyway, what's going on? Yeah, buddy, what's going on, Nuclear Snake? Max Holloway is going to do Connor worse than Connor did that woman in the hotel room. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I hope Conor McGregor wins, and I think Connor could win. The thing is, like Max, Max Holloway is like crazy good, but the thing is, he's fighting at like 170, right? I'm pretty sure they're fighting at 170 pounds. When's the last has Max Holloway ever fought at 170? Let's go ahead and Max Holloway. Miggity Max Holloway. I'm curious, right? Actually, hold on. It'll show me here. Usually it'll tell you what he fights at. Yeah, featherweight and then lightweight, and I'm pretty because this fight is at 170, right? I don't think Conor McGregor could make 155 anymore. I don't know if Max Holloway is going to be the same at 170 as he is going to be at lightweight because the thing is, not only like the difference between a 155er and a 170 guy is kind of palpable if we're being honest here. You have dudes that fight at 145 who could make it at 155. I actually think Ilya Topuria is one of those guys. Justin Gaethje was in danger that entire fight, and it really comes down to the fact that when Ilya had Justin hurt, he decided to go for the takedown instead of or not the take. He decided to take it to the ground instead of trying to keep it standing and finish Justin off. Right. I think Ilya is one of those guys. He's undersized, but his boxing and his power is so good. I think he might be able to do well at 155. But then you have dudes who they're 155ers and then they go up to 170. That's 15 pounds. That's not even just 10 pounds. And after like 6 or 7 pounds, every one of those pounds starts to matter. And then you also have these dudes that are going to be undersized. I mean, the thing is though, I guess Max is 5'11", so that's not too bad. I just don't know if his frame is going to be good for 170. You know, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I think Conor could win. I think Conor could win. I don't think it's like just because Conor's been out the game for what's it been like 3, 4, 5, 5 years, something like that. It's been pretty insane. Um, just because he's been out the game that long, I don't think that means Max is like sure to win or anything like that, you know. I mean, like with Calvin Kattar, right? He Calvin Kattar, people point to that performance as like, whoa, Max Holloway's so good. Calvin Kattar's a good fighter. He's a really good fighter, but you know what? I think we all know, and this pains me to say as a dude from New England, right? It pains me to say, but I think we all knew that Calvin Kattar was not really at that level as to where he was gonna be bringing home any titles. You know, at best he probably could have hoped for title contention at one point or another. He may have been in contention for the title. Uh, However, he never was really able to make it there, and I think he's got maybe two, maybe three more fights in him before he retires, right? So it's kind of a situation where Calvin Cater's dangerous, but I mean, like Max Holloway is just kind of he's a bump or two above Calvin Cater, and that's just kind of why he was able to do that, you know. Um, but yeah, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm excited for it. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to stream it. I mean, obviously, because like by that time, I'm 100% gonna be in the new place that I'm like you know living at, meaning like streaming there. You know, I'm not gonna be dividing time between the new place and my parents' house. I'm just gonna be living there. You guys are gonna see the new getup and everything like that, and um, I'm not gonna have my computer right in front of a TV. So I think I might have to take my laptop and watch my totally legit legal paid for stream and then talk to you guys. You know, I think that's probably what's going to happen because, of course, we're going to stream for Conor McGregor's return. We have to. I would have streamed for the UFC White House card if I wasn't there. And even then, I considered it. I was like, I don't know, maybe I should go live for the fights or something like that. I was like, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. But anyway, um, I have a feeling Connor will pull it off, but I wouldn't be surprised if Max wins. And that's kind of my feeling too. Is like I would put money on Connor, but I wouldn't be surprised if Max wins, which is why I wouldn't put money on this fight in the first place. You know, and Dricus will defeat Usman via apartheid. Is Dricus and Usman fighting? Are they fighting? Really? I don't know why. You know, it ain't 2019 anymore. like it's you know Usman talking about I have to go downstairs backwards. I have to backpedal downstairs because my knees are that shot, and he's still trying to fight at 180. It's like oof, eesh, yeah. Although he did really good against Hamzat. You know, you can say what you want about Sean Strickland. You know, the power of racism is undefeated. All right, in the UFC, I swear, you get Drew Dobers, you get Sean Strickland's. For some reason, as long as the guy's got this much melanin in him, he's going down. He's going down. But um, I do think that Hamzat beats Sean in the second one. I don't think that's any kind of a. I don't think that's a. I don't think that's a controversial take or anything like that. I think it's Hamzat's fault that he decides he wants to fight at a weight that he gets to be a weight bully at a lot of the time. I think it's Hamzat's fault that he has bad weight cuts, and that's not Sean's fault. And you shouldn't take anything away from Sean. However, I do believe that if Hamzat's weight cut wasn't dog shit, that he probably would have done a lot better against Sean. I will say that much, you know. But Sean like dominated him for the most part. There was a lot of moments that should not have happened according to MMA math that happened, you know. But I do think Hamzat probably beats Sean in the second in the rematch. Um, and I was very surprised that Usman was able to do as well as he did against Hamzat. I'm even surprised at Gilbert Burns doing as well as he did against Hamzat. What needs to happen is there needs to be like an actual grappler, like a good grappler to take on Hamzat if we're gonna see a victory against him that is not like a sort of a people would call a fluke. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Sean. That's Hamzat's fault if he had a bad weight cut. That's not Sean's fault. But like people will say, "Oh, it's a fluke. He had a bad weight cut." Um, there's a reason why Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman gave him the toughest fights, excuse me, that he has had. You know, Burns almost starched him. He throws an overhand right, nails him. You know, that was crazy to see. But anyway, yes, same month as Connor and Max, Usman was angling for a fight with Makashev, and the matchmakers told him no. Yeah, because yeah, they don't want Usman fighting. They don't want Usman fighting Islam because when Usman wins, because I do think Usman wins, um, like that's going to be bad for like the sport, frankly. It's going to be bad for the sport. The thing is, Usman needs to like actually pursue the title in a real way. I don't know like I don't know how many he's won or lost in his last 5 or 6, but I know that he's not exactly the same as he used to be. And I do think he beats Islam Makhachev just because of the size difference pretty much alone. And then also he is an elite grappler. But it's like the UFC would not want that. I was not a fan of Usman in the first place, and I'm still not the biggest fan of him, but he won me over with that performance against Hamzat. I was like, wow, this was like really good, respectable, good for him, you know? But overall, excuse me, overall, Usman was always just like fucking annoying, you know? I never liked that whole I never liked that whole like Wakanda bullshit that he was trying to pull with there was one other guy, I forget who it was, and then there was Francis Ngannou. It was like him, Francis Ngannou, and then I'm trying to remember who the other guy is, and when somebody tells me Israel Adesanya. It was like those three, and they tried to be like Wakanda forever and shit like that. And it's like you guys fucking suck. Francis Ngannou is not a hateable guy necessarily, but like Israel Adesanya and Kamaru Usman were some of the most hateable champions of the late 2010s, early 2020s. They were some of the most hateable dudes. They just sucked, man. It was so annoying having to see them run around. And I wanted to like Israel Adesanya too, but after his first fight, he goes, "Gold looks better on black skin." And I was just like, "Oh, all right, here we go. I can't wait to see you get fucked up." You you fucking suck. Eat shit. Like it's so gay. Those guys are so gay, you know. And I would rather see Hamzat. I would rather see Islam Makhachev be a champion than Usman be a champion again. If I'm being honest with you. Um, what's going on, Andrew Menezes? Hope you're doing well tonight. Hey Scott, did the usual BJJ swim Muay Thai training today. Had to teach a new guy how to hold Thai pads correctly, but that's the gym environment for you. Good for you, man. You know. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the environment that I'm in right now. So like anytime a new guy comes in, I'm just like, oh, fuck. Like I love coaching, you know, but because I don't like the environment I'm in, there's something tedious about having to like go and coach a new guy, you know, and it's not his fault that he doesn't know what he's doing, and it's not like I treat anybody like shit, but um I'm just so sick of the environment that like I would rather somebody else run warm-ups and I get to chill on my phone for 10 to 15 minutes in the class, and then I teach a move and then I walk around, and then at the end of the class, the last 5 to 15 minutes of the class, I roll a little bit with the students. You know, and it makes class go by a lot quicker. So in that first 15 minutes, if I have to teach somebody how to shrimp or how to hold their hands up or something like that, I'm like, oh fuck no, you know. I got to get out of this environment, man. And I'm on my way out for sure. I'm on my way out for sure, you know. It's just it's been tough. It's been tough. What's going on, Benjamin Young? Did you see Elliot Page boxing? Oh yeah, we should probably check that out. We should probably check that out. Elliot Page. Yeah, dude, I was an Izzy hater. Yeah. And it's like I said, I wanted to like Izzy. Like I saw there's a not a video. There's a YouTube channel that was big in the mid to late 2010s. I remember the first time I saw one of his videos, it was I think 2014, and I used it for workout inspiration for a little while. It was Lawrence Kenshin Striking Breakdowns. I highly recommend you guys check this guy out. He breaks down a lot of good things, a lot of things that you can use and learn and be aware of. But when Israel Adesanya came to the UFC, when he was coming to the UFC, Lawrence did a video about his kickboxing. And I just remember watching this dude and I was like, yo, this is sick. I love the fuck out of this. Like, I can't wait to see this guy fight. I wanted him to, I wanted him. I wanted him to like be loved, and apparently he didn't want to be loved. Apparently he wanted to be Mr. Wakanda forever and shit like that, you know. So it's like, all right, go fuck yourself then, Izzy. You know, you don't have a fan. You don't have a fan, and I'm sure that tears you up inside. I'm sure that tears you up inside. That Scott from Fish Tank. That's hey. You know Fish Tank? I'm Scott from Fish Tank. You know that? Yep. That's me. I'm the guy. I'm not a fan of yours, Izzy. No, but jokes aside, it sucks. It's annoying to be like, oh, I want to like this guy. Oh, he's fucking awful. You know. Um. Elliot Page boxing. What's going on, Joe Rogers? Lawrence Kenshin is an OG channel. It really is, you know. He really is. Fuck yeah. Ellen Page was so cute as a woman when she was in Inception, and then she troons into a fuckboy. That's the funniest part too, is that like she's trying her hardest to be like manly man fuckboy. Not even just like, oh, you know, I want to be a man. Literally, I want to be like a dude from TikTok, one of those guys, you know. Um, somebody, yeah, our wrestling coach kind of does that. Oh yeah, and I mean, look, like the thing is, warm ups kind of run themselves when you have dudes that have been around for a while. That's how it always has been. Like I've never been to a jujitsu, anything, whether it's gi, no gi. I've never been to a jujitsu class, excuse me, where the black belt who's coaching is like, okay, and here's how we're gonna do this. The only time that happens is if it's like a beginner class where everybody doesn't know what they're doing. But if you have a dude who's been at it for like 6 months, a year, 2 years, even like 2, 3 months, it's routine by now. So it's like, I don't think you need to be there like that. And then depending on the situation, you may not even have to help out the newer guys, because you'll have so many dudes around that are like, nah, I can help out this guy right here. I see he's floundering a little bit. So because of that, you're just like, all right, they're good. Argue with somebody on a Facebook Messenger, which is what I did. You know, some guy wanted to lowball me on a kayak I'm selling. So, you know, I called him a brokey, and then I blocked him. You know. But yeah, like there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but in my case, and maybe in your wrestling coach's case, he's like, yo, I can't stand this place. I'm here for the money, and I'm just waiting for an opportunity to get out of here. There's a chance. There's a chance, you know? Um, Scott Sullivan MMA X Scott Sullivan fish tank. Hell yeah. Somebody said something though. Oh, what do you mean by the environment? Hold on. You know what? Yeah, Hamzat was more tired than usual by the second round. He accepted the pace that Sean prefers to fight at and tried going jab for jab with him, which is you're gonna lose that fight with Sean for sure. Yeah, Kamaru was pretending that he is African as fuck. Meanwhile, he's just Marty from Nebraska. Yeah, he went at fucking Ben Askren. I actually believe Ben Askren when he's not I believe Ben Askren when he says that he didn't mean anything by it. He saw Kamaru and he's like, "Oh, hey Marty, what's going on?" And Kamaru was like, "Hey yo, fuck Whitey. Hey yo, fuck you, cracker." Like, I totally believe that. I a million percent believe it, you know. But anyway, I'll tell you what I mean about the whole environment thing after we check out Elliot Page because I think it's a good talk to have. As you guys know, I'm here because I want to try to like help people with whatever I can, whether it's martial arts or other stuff. And I've been going through a quarter life crisis for the past like year and a half, 2 years, and I'm coming to terms with a lot of different things. And one of the things that I want to do is make sure people don't make the same mistakes that I do. What's going on? Drawsome 3857. Greetings from Tel Aviv. Hey, what's going on? Can I have my foreskin back? You guys took it. Can I have it back? I've been trying to find it for a long time. I'm sure it's somewhere over there. Um, nah, he still likes our gym enough. There are some dumb problems, but that's everywhere. Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so let's go ahead and look at this, right? I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I don't absolutely hate this, right? But see, like the shirt has to be off because oh, I'm a dude, I'm a guy now, and it's like dudes aren't training with their shirts off. Like nobody likes that guy who trains with his shirt off at the gym. Everybody thinks that's weird and annoying, you know? You got to be like Conor McGregor to not have people looking at you like this fucking blowhard, you know? Anyway, the hands are actually not terrible, right? I'm going to say that too. Um This is not the worst boxing I've ever seen. I will give it to Shim. I will give it a Shim, you know. Um this is like not terrible compared to what a lot of people do, especially a lot of women do. Like the hands, you can see there's a little bit of stiffness, right? There's a little bit of roboticism or roboticness, however you want to call it. But the thing is, like, there isn't a lot of wind up, right? There is a little bit of a hand drop, like the hands are kind of coming down here, and that's where she's throwing and shit like that, right? But like, it's not terrible. This isn't like the worst you've ever seen. Is it the best? No. But like I don't know how long this has been going on for. I have no clue. But overall like it's not terrible. It's not terrible, you know. It's probably a situation where because because Eleniot because of because Eleniot over here doesn't have anything better to do when not acting in movies, all the time is probably just spent here. That's probably what's going on here. That's probably what's happening, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, good for her for learning a little bit of boxing. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the what I'm seeing here. It's like, well, is she ready to fight? No, no. But I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere. So I mean, hey, good for you. Good for you. You know. Um, are those float snakes? Yeah, yeah. Oh man. What's going on, RKE Productions? Got worried you were giving this up. Glad to see you still at it. Oh, dude, I stream at least 2 times a week right now. I've just been all over the place with the streaming. If I'm not doing it on like a Monday, I'm doing it on a Tuesday type stuff. But yeah, thanks for popping in, man. You know, I appreciate it. But yeah, like overall, this is not the worst boxing I've ever seen. We'll watch it again, right? So like, you see, that jab is not bad. That jab is not bad, right? And again, what it comes down to is the fact that there's no telegraph, there's no reaching back, there's no turning out here and trying to throw. Um, you know, like it is a little bit of an arm jab, but that can be fixed. That's a lot easier to fix than having to fix a hitch or you know a wind up or anything like that. You know, it's up, bang, just straight out, and then mostly straight back. You know, mostly straight back, which is good, You know, and then we see the cross again, same thing, nice turn. Um, Again, like I don't love how low the hands are. Like you want to, and everybody makes this mistake on some level, but when you throw, you want to throw so that you're hiding even so much as your temple behind the arm. And like I said, everybody makes that mistake a little bit. I make it too. I was hitting the bag earlier today. I'm sure I was, but the thing is, I'm just trying to be helpful as best I can. Not that this is going to be viewed by Elliot. Let's see the hook, right? So jab, cross. Um, it was supposed to be a hook. It's uppercut. The uppercut wasn't bad. Uppercuts can be tough for people as well, right? Uppercuts can be tough for people because you're here, and what happens is people naturally want to rear back like that. That was a good job going instead, right? And then that hook was not bad. That second hook left a little bit to be desired, right? You see, that second hook was complete arm. Instead of turning with it, basically it was uppercut and then like literally throwing the hook like that and then the cross. But everything, you know, like this is not bad. I mean, it's a lot better than Hassan Piker. I'll tell you that much. I've seen people who they claim like they're trying to be Mr. Boxer, right? And they do not look this good. So I mean, good for her, you know, honestly, good for her. She took Burt's implants. I bet. I bet. Yeah, it's not terrible. Not terrible. You know, I'll give it to her. I'll give it to her. Anyway, best I can give you is 5,000 migrants at your front door. Elliot Page, however the hell you spell that, is a damn ghoul. Those fake muscles look insane. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. You know. But yeah, you know, I mean, I try to avoid commenting on celebrity slop, and that's what this whole Ellen Elliott Page thing is. It's celebrity slop, you know. Ellen Page was not doing so well in her acting career, from what it seemed. I can't remember the last time I saw anything with her in it. Apparently, she was in Inception, which is cool. But like, what was I mean, I'm just curious, right? Let's look this up. Bada bing, bada boom, right? Um, right. Like when did she become he? When did she become he? I'm curious, right? Okay. So here we go. We can kind of see this because you have um 2017 Flatliners by not by but you know, she played Courtney Holmes, right? And then 2019 There's Something in the Water. It says himself. I am curious, right? Let's see here. Trying to fucking, this shit's so fucking annoying trying to read through this shit. I don't care. On December 1st, 2020, Page came out on social media as a trans man. I mean, look at this, right? 2017, 2018, and then into 2019. The only thing she did in 2019 was this, right? And then 2020, she came out as a man. Things kind of slowing down a little bit. You see 2003, 2002, there's three of them. 2003, one, okay, a little slow. 2004, one. 2005, one, two. 2006, one. 2007, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's like you see a lot of the time there's multiple projects that she's a part of in each year. Every now and again it's like, oh, I only did one that year. But um you see how it gets to 2016, 2017, and then bang, nothing. I have a feeling it's not a coincidence. I have a feeling it's not a coincidence. And that's not to say that like she didn't think that she was serious about it, right? It's not to say that it's like specifically and only because of the career or anything like that. That's not even necessarily what I'm trying to say. I do think that that's probably part of it, though. I think that's probably part of it. What's going on, James 4177? How late am I? Not too late. We've only been going for a half hour or so. Um, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Jeez, I'm trying to fucking go forward here. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if it was a combination of the career slowing down as well as just deciding, well, I mean, I like women and maybe I am trans. Maybe, who knows? Who knows? Who, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. Bows deeply. What's going on, professional orbiter? Just got banned from Copper Cab's chat and Sensei shows up. Yo, nice. Ah, that damn Copper Cab. That damn Copper Cab. He you see, sometimes people are like, why don't you just shave your head? And it's like, first off, that's really gay to be obsessed with how another man looks. That's really weird. But if I shave my head, I lose my ginger card. Copper Cab had to turn in his ginger card. I was there at the meeting when he had to surrender the thing. Like when a cop gets suspended, they're like, turn in your badge and your gun. They're like, turn in your ginger card. You know, Copper's not a real ginger. No sir, no sir. He shaved his head. He had to turn in it at the monthly meeting. But she's also 39. If she stayed female formed, she could be a hag maxer. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't like. That's the thing is like I never paid any attention to her. I don't know if I've ever seen anything because I never saw Juno. I've never seen an X-Men movie. Um, I have literally never seen a yeah. Looking at this, I have never seen a I've never seen anything with uh Ellen Page in it. I've not seen any of these movies at all. Not like maybe a scene or two from like X-Men or something like that, but I've never seen anything with her in it like that. So it's like whatever. Um but yeah, overall, like I think the biggest pitfall that you can fall into is paying attention to anything like that, whether it's a celebrity or not, because at this point, people are trying to use it as a means of like psychic vampirism. They want to know that they have you bothered in some way, shape, or form. And just because you're laughing about it, just because you're joking about it, doesn't mean that you're not bothered by it. In their eyes, it's, oh, he cares that much to joke about it, haha. And because of that, I just try my best to not pay any attention. But because she was boxing, I was like, oh, we'll take a look at that. Um, but yeah, it's pointless to care about that. It's pointless to care about that. I try my best to be as unbothered about stuff as I possibly can. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's the cortisol meme, right? Like, oh, cortisol spike. It's like, yeah, if you're fucking with me, of course I'm gonna get mad about that, and of course I'm gonna confront you and tell you to fuck off. Obviously, right? But that's the pitfall of it, is that it was only ever going to be used by bad actors as a means to try and manipulate you into allowing them to fuck with you. But outside of that, it is good to not be bothered by like all of the new age bullshit that's going on right now, because that's what they want you to be. They want you to be uncomfortable. They want you to notice. They want you to feel like you have to say something, whether it's a joke or whether it's serious. And it's not good. It's not good. I had no idea you had to give up the card wild-ish. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We take that shit serious, you know? It's blood in, blood out. Man, somebody asked me about the environment thing. Oh, what do you mean by the environment? So like I wasted a lot of time not on MMA itself, but I wasted time in an environment that did not help me to achieve my goals in the mixed martial arts world, and that's why I'm not finished, but that's why, like as of right now in mixed martial arts, I'm 1-2. I don't really care that much about anything else. I've had plenty of other fights, boxing, kickboxing. I've never had MMA fights other than the 1-2, and that's what I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to be an MMA fighter explicitly. So if I ever took a kickboxing match, whether it was sanctioned or not, it was like, it's all right, whether I win or lose. But the reason why I did not do better is because the environment failed me. And I failed myself too, don't get me wrong, right? I did some stupid things in the early days of me trying to become a fighter, and that affected my performance in a couple of fights. But when I took that bullshit and I put it to the side, when I quit cigarettes, when I quit weed, when I made sure that no matter what, I was going to show up for training every day that I had training, and I was going to go home and I was going to shadow box, I was going to hit the bag, I was going to put in extra work, right? I was going to make sure that I was ready for the fight. The people in the environment did not make sure that I was ready for the fight, you know? And I thought that I was doing the right thing by sticking around in this environment. I thought that I was being loyal because the guy who runs my gym was really, I mean, I won't say he was really good to me in the early days. It was two things. One, he did a couple of nice things for me. And two, he was very understanding about like me being a fucking idiot, right? Which I do appreciate. I do appreciate. However, when I started to kind of fully form into an adult, when the neuroplasticity started going away and my brain solidified and I became the man that I am today, there was no real investment in me beyond just like me being a charity case that was always in debt to the owner of the gym. And that's the way that this guy kind of is with people. And because of that, I did not get to where I wanted to be. And I'm not like, I'm only 31 years old. I'm going to be 32 in November. Like, that's not old, but to try and cobble together a pro career so that maybe I can make it to the UFC and make 12-12 to start, it's like, fuck that. Fuck that. You know, I got a wife. I'm trying to have kids. Can't be making 12-12. Get the fuck out of my face, you know? Um Priorities changed, and then also the wisdom grew, and now I understand how the fight game is. But if I had already gone pro by the age of like 22, 23, which I could have, things could have worked out for me. My first fight was I was 19 years old. Like I could have gone pro at 22, 23. Um, if I had done that, I probably would have been in a much better position nowadays if everything went right and I did make it to the UFC and I did do something good with my career, right? But I mean, that's a coulda, shoulda, woulda situation. What I do know is that I have trained with a bunch of different people who at one point were coming to my gym who they left and they went on to do great things. There was a girl that I used to know who she was like the golden girl of the gym. Everybody fucking loved her. The gym owner loved her more than he loved me, even though I was around longer. I had tried to help this dude more, etc., etc. Like you could tell who the favorite was between she and I, and she just up and dipped one day, and then she ended up in Florida, and then she went out to California and she competed. I think earlier this month in UFC BJJ, she won her debut for them. So good for her. Good for her. You know, I know another guy who he got to the UFC. He went 0-2 and he got knocked back down to the regional scene. But now he's becoming a bit of a mainstay in bare knuckle fighting championships. Right. There's probably been a couple more people who, like, when they left, they really found success because they got out of what was a bad environment for somebody who was trying to be somebody in the jujitsu, the MMA, the kickboxing, the etc. world, you know? And it's knowing that that's the way things went down, and knowing the way that like I am in this place, knowing the Sisyphusian sort of task that I have undertaken, I'm just like, I don't even want to fucking be here. And I'm getting ready over the next couple of months to get out of the place. And the lesson here is that you need to be loyal to yourself. You don't owe somebody something just because they did something nice for you, you know? Um, and that's not to say you shouldn't be there and like, reward their kindness and stuff like that. You kind of do owe people things when they do something nice for you, but you need to recognize when you're in a situation where somebody's giving you a pair of $35 gloves and now they expect you to like sign your soul over to them, which is kind of how it started, right? I wanted a pair of gloves and I didn't have the money for them. The owner was like, "Hey, you give me $5 a week until they're paid off and they're yours." He gives them to me. I'm like, "Oh wow, that's so nice." Literally nobody had ever done anything like that for me before. Like the first time in my life anyone had been that kind of nice to me. I give him the gloves, and that's kind of how everything started. And then, one thing leads to another, and now I'm basically running this guy's gym for him. And I'm not getting paid middle manager salary. I'm not getting paid run your business for you salary or anything like that. It's disgusting. Open a bakery inside and call it Dojo's. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm gonna have to do that. I've been thinking about opening a karate dojo, karate Mick dojo. That is, that's another good idea. That's you guys are spitting that hot fire. You guys are spitting that hot fire. Um, but yeah, like overall, I got what I needed from mixed martial arts. I didn't get what I wanted, and if there's one thing I'm noticing, it's that in order to get what you want from the fight world, you have to become somebody that is not really great to be around, or you have to give up a piece of yourself, and you have to like lie, cheat, and steal to be able to do it. For instance, that girl that I was talking about who was on UFC BJJ, for one thing, she was just a fucking dickhead. She was like a piece of shit, like full of herself. Like she would walk all over you because she thought she was hot shit because she likes to play a game, right? And on her way out, she fucked us over a little bit. She had a bunch of passwords and she had access to a bunch of social media stuff that she didn't give back to us right away. And when I went to her like, "Hey, so are you coming back or no?" And if she said no, I was gonna be like, "Well, we need the passwords and stuff for the fucking social media. Like, you got to give us that." She started talking to me like I was a piece of shit, you know. Uh, and now she's on steroids. Like if I'm not going to show you a picture of her. I don't want to put her on blast like that to the 14 people that are here, right? But if I showed you a picture of her, you'd be like, "Oh no, she's definitely on performance enhancing drugs. She absolutely is." And that's the way that it is in jujitsu. You have to do that if you're going to be somebody in jujitsu. You got to use steroids. That's just the way it is, right? I don't like it, but that's kind of how it is. So I don't a million percent blame her, but what I do blame her for is being so willing to give up that piece of herself and to be so shitty to people around her that and for what? And for what? She's a women's jujitsu champion. People don't even know the men's champions. I couldn't tell you who won worlds at any of the weight classes last year. Get the fuck out of my face. Oh, excuse me. Um, man. But yeah, it's I got what I needed. When I first started fighting, I was not a very confident guy. I was not able to really regulate my emotions and regulate myself very well. And fighting taught me that I need to do that. Fighting taught me that there's no substitution for hard work, and that at the end of the day, you got to make sure you get the job done, whatever that happens to be. And you can use a lot of different things to teach you that. It doesn't have to just be mixed martial arts, but for me, it was mixed martial arts. And it teaches pretty much everybody who really tries to dive in and let it permeate themselves. It teaches them that. And it has given me some skills that are really, really useful. Oh, excuse me, both as a coach where I have to communicate with people, And then as a fighter, somebody who, when I go through, look, I don't live in the greatest area, right? Especially the last place I lived in a place where like people get shot regularly. Like there were two or three shootings within a mile of my place in the time that I lived there. The last place that I was in before I ended up here and before the new place, right? You guys only know of this place right now. The new place that I'm going to be in next week, you guys are going to you get what I mean, right? Like me, somebody like me, like being able to walk around and know, okay, like anything short of like a gun or a knife, I'm probably going to be fine. I don't have to worry. That's a big boon. That's a big thing. It's important for you to be able to do that, you know? Um, but yeah, man, I think every sports has made it a secret guilty requirement for people to do PEDs or roids in order to be at the top. Generally, I try not to let things permeate me. Yeah, yeah. No, and yeah, it's unfortunate, It's unfortunate that that is the case, because I don't think you should have to do that to be able to get to the top. And I think if your accomplishments are coming out of a needle, then that's probably not a good thing. Like I get it, you're just someone you want to be able to work out for the sake of working out, or you have you want to do aesthetics or something like that. That's totally fine. I get it, but like when you're bringing that into a competition, particularly a competition where the goal is to hurt somebody else, and that is kind of like unacceptable. That's kind of unacceptable in my opinion. I'm not a fan of that kind of shit. If I know the other guy's roiding, I might look the other way if my guy's roiding, but that doesn't mean I'm happy about it. That doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Um, what was I gonna say? Fuck, I was gonna go somewhere else with that point too, but I've kind of forget where it was going. You know. Somebody said something. Oh yeah, yeah. We are we finally getting revenge against Letty? The plan's in motion. The first domino has been knocked over. It's only a matter of time now. Hi, Ecuador. Uh, Here it is. I went through the same thing with my former coach. He helped me out in the beginning when I first started, and over the course of 2 years, me and my homie were coaching the kickboxing classes, and we weren't getting paid shit for coaching full time. Exactly. And look, the prevalence of mental illnesses, not that I believe in mental illness like that, but the prevalence of mental illnesses that are revolving around personality disorders or basically like narcissism, psychopathy, sociopathy, all of those things. I think the prevalence of them is like 1 in 50 or like 1 in 100. That is quite a number of people. If it's 1 in 100, that means it is 1%, right? Let's see what 1% of my fucking phone, here it is. 1% of there's what, 300 million people? 1 2 3 1 2 3. No, wait, fuck. 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, we're good. 1% of 300 million people is 3 million people. I probably could have did that in my head. I don't I've whoops. But there are 3 million people who have some kind of dark triad bullshit going on in America. And frankly, I think that's probably an underestimation, because we're talking about ASD or something like that, or ASPD, whatever they call that shit, which kind of encompasses like narcissism and sociopathy and psychopathy and all that stuff. They kind of like lumped them together now, and they gave it a new name, ASPD, antisocial personality disorder. There are tons of other people who would not be classified under ASPD who act exactly like that. I got into this argument with my mom's psychologist because, if I'm being honest with you, I have a feeling that my mom has those kinds of personality disorders. And I straight up told my mom one day, look, get yourself checked. Go to your psychologist and ask them, hey, do you think I have this? And you know what the psychologist said? No, I don't think you have it. However, what you do have is ADHD and bipolar disorder, which sometimes voice themselves like ASPD does, like sociopathy and narcissism do. It's like, so what you're saying is she's a fucking narcissist then. So you have 1% of the population that are considered to have like that kind of issue. And then you have a whole other host of the population that would not be put in that same basket, but they basically act like the people that are in this basket. So you got to be on the lookout for people who like will literally do that. That was definitely purposeful. Yeah, buddy. It was absolutely like that he did that on purpose. He knew what he was doing, you know? And that's a common tactic that these people will utilize is, oh, I'll do like small kind things to you. First off, they target you specifically because they think they can get you that way, you know? And then they turn around and they start like doing kind things for you, and then you're like, oh fuck, I'm indebted to this person. And then 10 years later, right? For me, it's been like 12 or 13 years. I took a 2 to 3 year break because he and I got into an argument and we went our separate ways. But I came back in 2018, and by 2021, I was like full time, basically running the fucking gym. I got into another argument with him shortly after I met Sam. And he took away my coaching privileges, right? Which means he took away my money for, I think, the better part of like 2 months. And then 2 months later, I was back to coaching because by that time I needed the money. I was dependent on the money from this guy's gym. So as much as I wanted to, even at that time, be like, all right, guys, see ya, I couldn't. I had to go back. And now I'm at a point where it's like, well, I'm getting ready to uproot my life however I am. So I'm going to have no choice. And frankly, I'm looking forward to that day. Um, I think most women have an element of narcissism, if not narcissistic personality disorder. Oh, a million percent, a million percent. And they're taught to be that way. We used to teach women how to be good wives and good mothers, and they don't get taught that anymore. Instead, they get taught how to be absolute, like, reprobate pieces of shit. And look, there's plenty of women out there that I have a lot of love for, right? I love the hell out of my wife, but like at the end of the day, like women are so fucked up, they don't even realize how bad the situation is, and they mistreat people, not understanding that that's what they're doing. They think it's like, oh no, it's fine. Like this is what I was told I get to do to people all the time, no matter what. I don't know why this guy's so upset. Maybe he hates women, when the reality is they hate men. It's just that hatred has become so normalized, they will be completely and totally confused when you try to be like, yo, that hurts me, don't do that. It is bonkers. Yeah, over the course of time, I realized that he is either a sociopath or a psychopath, and I mean that very literally. He told me some crazy stories about himself and his upbringing. Oh yeah, mine too. Mine too. But we must have the same MMA coach. Maybe he runs another gym. Maybe he runs another gym, and you're his guy at that gym. Oh man. If PEDs were standard, then extreme permanent damage would be the norm too. Well, the thing is, James, like I think I kind of understand what you're saying, but like, how often do we check in on people after they retire from a sport? I mean, Kamaru Usman's still fighting, and he's talking about, I have to walk down the stairs backwards because I don't have any knees. Like, and I'm not even saying he's on PEDs. It wouldn't surprise me, but I'm not saying he is, right? But like, that dude is fucked up and he's still fighting. Imagine all the people that we don't check in on. They just retire and we're like, ah, yeah, great career. See you never. Imagine what issues those guys are going through? And it's also like when you ask somebody, hey, how you doing? It would be almost rude for that person to be like, my knees hurt, my neck is busted, I got a bum elbow, I got fucking belly button lint. Like, you don't trauma dump all your bodily or mental problems on somebody when they're just trying to be polite. So it's like, you know I I think that damage, whether it's fighting where everybody comes out damaged, dude. I'm damaged. I have a bum knee. I have a separated pectoral. My pec is partially separated. I just started physical therapy for it, you know. I got eye floaters in this eye right here that like I'm at a point where I almost don't even see them anymore until I acknowledge them. Like I can see them now, right? I can even make them dance like when I look around and stuff like that. They do that. I can make one of them swirl like that. The bottom line is like you don't even have to fight a ton. You don't even have to fight like crazy to get injuries. They happen to you, you know. And I would assume it's similar in like baseball and football and soccer. You know, I guess soccer players tend to have shitty knees, particularly with the leg that they kick with, because it's just repeated kick, 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 kick 1,000 times a day for however long soccer players tend to have a shelf life for, you know? Fucking eye floaters, bro. Yeah, yeah. They're kind of annoying, you know. Sometimes I'll be driving and I'll think I'm getting a migraine because one of the eye floaters is kind of like I think it reflects light or something like that. So because of that, it kind of looks like the migraine aura that I get. So I'll be driving on the highway and I'll see it. It'll like flash into my vision quick and I won't realize what it is and I'll be like, "Fuck, I'm getting a fucking migraine." And I'll start to like panic a little bit, you know? It's a little frustrating. It's a little frustrating, you know. Scott's new place is the season 2 house. It's the season 3 house. Turns out I was rich this entire time. I was rich as fuck, and just as a fuck you to Jet and Ben, I'm like buying the season 3 house. Like, what's up, boys? Man, oh man, that season 3 house was so fucking cool, man. You know, really, like that was the coolest fucking place. Specifically the Blood Games map. That was so awesome. It's so disappointing that that happened, you know. And man, mm, 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 mm. Fuck it. It's a shame. It's a fucking shame. But hey, you know, it is what it is. If you look at pics of bodybuilders before roids, you realize every pro athlete is on gear. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. You know, look at as an example of a fighter. Look at Alistair Overeem in like 1999 versus Alistair Overeem in 2009, and you're gonna be like, "Whoa, where the fuck did that come from?" Anyway, I welded. I have perma day vision at night. Yes, everything's glowing. A narcissist is like a mosquito. By the way, what's going on, Ravaki? I don't know how to say your name. Watching on Twitch. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. A narcissist is like a mosquito. You don't realize it at first, but they will start sucking eventually. Totally, exactly. That's a great way to put it. A great way to put it. You know. And unfortunately for me, I'm kind of a narcissist magnet, or I was, because I was, and this is one of the things fighting did for me, you know. It made me a little afraid to stand up for myself because I felt like if I ever went against what somebody wanted, they would like leave. They would be like, "No, fuck you," you know. They would switch up on me. It's like, "Hey, I want to play this video game." "Oh, well, I want to play that video game." And then like they would just switch up and start like abusing me and stuff like that because that's a lot of what happened when I was a child, you know. I was not allowed to stand up for myself. I was not allowed to do the things that I wanted and needed to do in order to have like a good sense of self, you know. I was not allowed to enforce my own ego or anything like that because again, I had a narcissistic mother who would like absolutely flip the fuck out and my dad was no help. You know, he was very much afraid of having to deal with my mother's wrath. And because of that, he was just a peacekeeper. And he would tell me that I have to conform to like whatever my mother's going to want from me in any given moment. And it was like disgusting. But, um, you know, it took me a long time, longer than I would like to admit, to really be able to notice when somebody is being like shitty like that. And I have a very I'll ride it out until the end. That's what I was prepared to do with Fish Tank. Is like, look, like you know, like you guys said, no Scott, no Fish Tank. I remember that, and I was told that multiple times, not just on camera for the camera. I was told that by Jet 2 or 3 times total, and yeah, I was ready to like do whatever I had to do. And that's where the Grape Escape thing came from. It's like, oh, hey, like, these guys said no Scott, no fish tank. So, um, all right. I'm like, yeah, it's probably not a great idea for me to be doing this, but I'll do it because I trust these guys. And these guys said they got my back. They're going to look out for me. And I'm sure if something crazy did happen, they'd make it right. But, fucking it's a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that, you know? And I think it can be a strength, but it can especially be a weakness when you're sitting here talking about, like, oh, yeah, this guy gave me a $35 pair of gloves and now I run his gym for him and I never got to be in the UFC. Yeah, that's where it becomes a weakness. And it took me a while to be able to identify when somebody is like that. Um, there hasn't been a good one since, honestly. Yeah. Well, hopefully they turn it around, Hopefully they turn it around. Yeah, gym loyalty is an energy contract. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And there's so many things that I gave up because I thought that there would be a light at the end of the tunnel. There would be a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and there wasn't. Like I just remembered last night I got a job offer from the post office. Fucking post office. Do nothing job. You can't get fired from. You get so much benefits, great benefits, tons of vacation time, etc., etc. And I'm sitting here like, nah, I can't take this job as much as I would like to because it would run over the time that I have to be at the gym. It would conflict with that time. So thank you very much for the job offer, Postal Service, but you know what? I'm going to follow my passion. And meanwhile, my coach is just like, meh, whatever. It's like, fuck, man. Even like this, like having to be at the gym 4 to 5 days a week in the afternoon, that makes it harder to stream. I could have really put a ton into trying to stream. I had like five, maybe 600 viewers per stream, not concurrent, but like total viewers per stream in like 2023, 2024. That's not crazy numbers, but that's somewhere to start. It's somewhere to start. And every now and again when I put on a really good stream, I'd get like 100, 200 peak concurrent type shit is what I would end up getting. And that's somewhere to start. But when I'm trying to be at the gym because I think that that is where my bread is going to be buttered, I'm gonna be like, oh, I can't stream that much. I can't do that much, right? It took away from other opportunities that I had. Even like certain training, like training Froggy Fresh, right? Training Brandon Buckingham. I could have been a bigger part of their training camps. Harley from Epic Mealtime. I could have been a bigger part of their training camps back when influencer boxing was a big thing, but I had to be at the gym. And look at where I am now. You gotta be careful with your time, man. You gotta be careful with your time. You gotta be careful with your energy because you know what? Like, um, and now the insulting thing is that now that I'm 31 years old and I'm like, bro, I gotta have kids. I gotta have kids, bro. I gotta get this shit figured out, dude. I can't be like hanging around just like teaching classes. I gotta actually have like a real career, a real business, a real money making venture. Now my coach is like, hey, so I was wondering if you want to take this place over. It's like, you knew I wanted to take it over when I was 25, bro. You could have easily given it to me then, or you could have made me a much bigger part of the gym back then, but you wanted to dick around. So fuck you, you know? I have my first kid on the way. Hey, congrats, Mashed Potato Tower. Boy or girl, if you don't mind me asking. If you don't want to answer, it's all good. But really, congrats, dude. Good for you. Season three was good, but would have been better with Sensei. Well, I appreciate that, Professional Orbiter. I appreciate that. I think season three was a good season, but it's just mismanagement led to it not finishing the way that it was supposed to. Season three could have been the best season. It was definitely on its way to be the best season, even better than season two, which in my opinion is the best season, not just because I was on it, but I think season three could have been the best season, but the mismanagement, you know, there was a lot of weird. Look, I'm not gonna put Jet and Ben on blast or anything like that for some of the decisions that I've seen them and heard them make. Um, I'm just gonna leave it at mismanagement, is really what it is. They could have and should have paid off this person and that person. They should have paid off the town, because that's the way anything gets done. We had an IKEA in my hometown open up in, like, I think it was 2004, 2005. They had a contract with the town that said, in order to open up business in order to open up an IKEA in this town, you had to fund like a certain percentage of our sports programs for the youth, and they had to pay for the fireworks display for like 10 years, 15 years, something like that. Like our fireworks were crazy for a long time because we had IKEA paying for them, right? Like, it doesn't matter who you are. If you want to do business in a town, it sucks. I don't like it myself. I think it's un-American, but you got to grease the right palms. That's just the way it is. There's no way around it, because you know what? You can sit there and be like, "Hey, I'm going to get a lawyer and we're going to pursue this," which is not even what they would do in the first place. They're not sue guys. They're not lawfare guys. That's not their thing. But like, even if they did, it's like, well, okay, we might be correct. The court might find in favor of us. But I mean, season's already ruined, you know? Man, it's a girl. Well, congratulations, mashed potato tower. I hope I have boys. I hope I have two boys. But I'm gonna love whatever God gifts me. And if I have a girl, I'm just gonna try to make sure I don't raise her as a boy. Not saying this is what you're gonna do, but one thing that I've noticed, particularly in the grappling world, the wrestling world especially, you have these dads who they clearly wanted sons. And when they have a girl, they're like, "It's okay. My girl will be a better son than the son I never had. She'll be like the son I never had," is what'll happen. And they have their girls enroll in wrestling, and like they absolutely like push them, push them, push them, push them, push them to be the best wrestler. And they purposefully have them enter into brackets where they can sandbag a little bit. They're either weight bullying or they're skill bullying, right? And because of that, they like, you'll see them with like the camera on the side of the mat, like, "Yeah, get him," and they have their like young girls suplexing a boy who's like half her size, half her skill level, shit like that, and they'll be like, "Yeah," when she does it. It's like, I do not. If I have girls, I gotta make sure that I don't do that. And I don't think I will do that, because I think that behavior's gay. I think it's really gay, and I don't think I'm gonna be given to that necessarily. I think I'm just gonna let my girls be girls. I'm not gonna try to trans them like some people would, and I'm also not gonna try and make them tomboys like some other people would. And it's funny because the tomboy parents probably would be like, "Transgenders? No, no way. Boys are boys and girls are girls." And then the trans parents would be like, your daughter clearly is a boy in a girl's body. You need to trans her." You know, it's insane. Excuse me. Everyone I know uses my kid to put fake pressure on you just to get in your head. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, mashed potato tower? I'm curious. Get him, get him. It's like, holy fuck. You're gonna play softball, kind of dad. Oh boy, you know. Nuclear Snake. I don't really. I love wrestling. I don't mind watching wrestling. I just don't know enough about wrestling, to know anything. Like, the only wrestlers I ever knew of were Jordan Burroughs, Kyle Dake, and Bo Nickel. Those are the only three. I guess John Smith. Actually, I watched a lot of John Smith when I was in high school. I really did like him. I still use the low single to this day. It's probably one of my best weapons when I'm shooting in for a takedown. I would say John Smith. Truthfully, truth be told, truth be told. But yeah, when it comes to modern guys, I really don't know that much. I really don't watch like that. I do like it, but I don't follow it. Um, People say stuff like, "You're about to have a kid. Why are you enjoying yourself in any way?" Oh yeah, people just fucking suck, dude. People suck. People are just awful. People are just awful to men. Like, men don't get any love ever under any circumstances, and that's one of the things. It's like, that's why as a man you got to be ready to fight back on some level. And if your wife is not trying to allot some time for you every day to enjoy yourself, then she's being a bad wife. And you should do the same thing for your wife, you know? Like just it's one thing if it's like stay-at-home mom type stuff. It's like, all right, maybe, maybe she's got plenty of time, she can do whatever she wants. She puts a kid down for a nap. She decides she wants to like, play some video games or watch TV or whatever, right? But if it's one of those dual income kinds of situations, it's like, yeah, you got to help each other out, and that's something that a lot of women don't do. Is they think that like they think everything's the inverse of the 1950s, where a man comes home from work and he's got to do the dishes and cook and all this other shit, and it's gross. There's nothing worse than a do nothing bitch. There's nothing worse than a lazy bitch who like doesn't want to be a part of making things easier for you or for anybody else. That's the worst thing that you could have as a man is one of those women. And especially because they'll be entitled about it. Like there was one other girl that I thought I was going to marry in my life. And we did not get married, thank God. I remember I was living in a rooming house, and I was working part-time at a grocery store. This girl did not have a job. Anytime she got a job, she would keep it for like a month or two, and then she would find some way to get fired or quit. She was a weed smoker who didn't have a job, so I would end up buying her weed from time to time. She had a car that she would put gas into to drive 40 miles out of the way to go hang out with her friends who lived in Hull, Massachusetts, which is like on the coast. It's where Nantasket Beach is. But just like a fucking bum ass bitch. She would sit at home all day. Like her idea of looking for a job was like hitting send resume on monster.com. And like she would clean the room up, but like it was one room. She moved in with me because she got kicked out by her mom because her and her mom were beefing. And she decides, oh no, fucking I was getting confused between her and another girl that I was about to tell you a story about another girl and attribute it to her, but no, she didn't do that one. Basically, she did nothing all day. She just sat around like hanging out, and then she would go to Hull like a couple of times a week to hang out with her friends and smoke weed and shit like that. I would get home from working, and I would be the one who has to cook dinner. I would be the one who has to do fucking everything. I would be the one who's saving to try and get us into a new apartment and stuff like that. And no matter what I did, it was never enough. And there was always you don't get me flowers. She literally said that one day. She's like, you never get me flowers. And it's like, you fucking stupid bitch. Get the fuck out of my face. And she and I ended up breaking up. She immediately started fucking some 19-year-old kid. We were like 23, 24 at the time. She got pregnant with him, and now he walked out on her. She's a single mom who can't get her baby daddy to like pay any attention to her. And yeah, she just smokes weed all day doing nothing. She's just like a bum ass hoe is what she is. She's a nothing. She's a nobody. And like that's the type of woman I almost got married to, and I thank God every day that I am not married to somebody like that. I thank God every single day I'm not married to someone like that. My wife has her problems. She's got some big problems too, I'm not going to lie. But then again, I have some big problems too. Everybody's got big problems, but my wife is not a fucking loser like that, and thank God. You just described 5 of my exes. Also, hi Scott, what's going on, iPhone meet? Um, by flowers, maybe she was talking about the grass. Yeah. Oh boy. Scott, were you there when Xavier made Sam break character during Blood Games when he mentioned the Museum of Shit? Nah, if I was, it went over my head and I don't remember it. If I was, I just don't remember it. Um So did they really get shut down because the town only and not like Discord leftists protesting Sam Hyde? I mean, the only people who could have shut him down like that was the town. And since season 1, they've had issues with the town. In season 1, they got extorted by the Swansea Police Department. They said, hey, we're going to shut you down. Literally like a protection racket type shit. They were like, we're going to shut you down unless you pay us 20 grand and we'll post an officer out front at all times. They literally shook down Jet, Ben, and Sam during season one, knowing that there would be nothing they could do, you know, which should be illegal. Whoever made that decision should be tried and hanged in the town square. It should be fucking mandatory viewing for all cops, that guy who made that decision to utilize his authority as a police officer to literally extort people like the mafia would. uh it needs to be mandatory viewing, the capital punishment of that cop, you know. It's disgusting, 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 you know. You want to fight, brother, that's more than most can say. Well, I mean, I've won more than one fight, you know. It's just most of not no no I don't think most of them. I think I had an equal amount of fights that were sanctioned versus unsanctioned, you know. There were smokers where like I knocked dudes out and it's like, well, that's not getting recorded anywhere, but I mean, how are you going to say I didn't win that, you know? I've had smokers where I got the shit kicked out of me too, you know. I've had smokers where I kicked the shit out of the other guy even if I didn't, you know, knock the guy out or anything like that, you know. Sometimes you do good, sometimes you do bad, you know. And it's just fucking, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, you know, it's not like I'm at peace with everything that happened with my MMA career. It's just looking back on it, I understand where certain things went wrong for me and where I need to be careful to not fall into those pits in future endeavors. And I need to be careful to make sure that my child does not grow up with those same issues that I grew up with. You know, I need to make sure, because that's why I'm doing all this thinking, right? There's only so much of it that is going to benefit me thinking about the past and being like, oh, well, I need to do this differently. I need to do that differently. Like the obsessiveness of it comes from the fact that I want to make sure that I learn the lesson truly 100% and I don't pass the bullshit onto my child, because that's what will happen if you're not careful, you know. um Not gonna lie, that's low-key based. Corrupt cops. Thank God I don't live there. Oh yeah, you know, Massachusetts has some of the most corrupt cops in the nation, you know, both at the municipal as well as the state level, you know. There was a girl that I knew. I didn't like grow up with her, but we were a few years apart in school, who was allegedly murdered by a cop. And there was an alleged cover up of that alleged murder where some stadies who were tasked with investigating the alleged murder that they would some stadies were tasked with the alleged murder, and they decided they would call it a suicide even though there was evidence of the contrary, is what allegedly happened, you know. And that's one thing that's going on. And it was the same cops that tried to railroad Karen Reed. That was like a national news story when that was going down. Was Karen Reed was being framed for a murder she didn't commit, you know. And I don't even think, like here's the thing: the cops that were involved with the murder of I forget what the cop's name who died. The officers that were involved with that, they just like, I don't think there was ever like a I don't think they were ever held accountable. I think it was just, oh, Karen Reed's innocent. Okay, anyway, I guess we'll just move on from this. We're not going to try and seek justice against the guys who actually killed the cop that fucking died, you know. It's crazy. You know, Tupac once said the police are the biggest gang in America. You know, Tupac is so fucking gay. I can't stand that guy. He was literally, he was gay. He was like a homosexual, you know. But like, eh, yeah, it does frustrate me that like there is definitely a gang mentality among the cops, you know. I just like, I cringe whenever I hear that. Like, oh, Tupac said, oh, dude, the police are the biggest gang in America, bro. It's like, yeah, I don't think the police are doing drive-bys like that. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of bad shit the police do, and I think they need to be punished heavily for that. But I, you know, I think I feel safer around a cop than I do a gang member. I just got to be honest with you. I just got to be honest with you, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of corruption in the Massachusetts law enforcement world, and that's one of the reasons why I can't wait to get out of here if I do get out of here, you know. I can't wait to skedaddle because at the very least the corruption that's in another state, like let's say I go to West Virginia, I'm sure there's plenty of corruption in that state, but you know what? I'm not going to be as acutely aware of it, so because of that it'll probably be easier to ignore and I can just go about my day, go about my life, you know. When somebody you went to school, when not just somebody you went to school with, when somebody you were friendly enough with that you still have them on Snapchat, like literally, I don't need to go like looking for it like crazy or anything like that, but I like that girl that I talked about who was allegedly murdered by that alleged cop. He like she and I talked and she told me about the situation she was in with that cop. She was like, "Yeah, I'm dating this cop. Well, I mean, I guess I'm just kind of sleeping with this cop. He's got a wife and some kids and it's like kind of a really weird situation. He's sort of like um protective was not the word, possessive. She literally was like, he can be a little bit possessive of me, I guess you could say." And it was like I just remember telling her like, "Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like a bad thing, man. You should probably like not be with that guy then." And well, she didn't listen. She didn't listen. Oh, by the way, she was pregnant too. She was pregnant with somebody's baby. We actually like people thought, "Oh, it was probably that cop's baby," but it wasn't. And we actually don't know whose baby it was. And the thing is, she was being groomed allegedly. She was allegedly being groomed by not just that one cop, but multiple cops. There was like 4 or 5 different cops that allegedly, again, I got to be careful here. That allegedly had a hand in grooming this poor fucking girl who came from kind of a broken home in the first place. You know, that's disgusting. That's fucking disgusting. You know. The cop was Connor from season 3. It was. Indeed it was. Sorry, I gotta check something here. All right. That's what the cop says in Running Scared. Um, what allegedly? Allegedly. The cop from Running Scared says allegedly a lot. All right. Anyway, every mass police force is corrupt. Look at the Karen Reed shit. That's just one small town. Imagine Boston. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. You know. Scott knew Sandra Birchmore. Yes, yes, I did. I will. The only reason I'm talking about this now is because so many other people have talked about it, and there was partial vindication because of the fact that what's his face? I forget what his fucking name is. The cop that where the fuck is it? Where the fuck yes. That's her Snapchat right there. You know, like we used to talk to each other on Snapchat sometimes. This fucking like we didn't talk a ton, but like yeah, she and I would like talk every now and again, you know. And the only reason I'm talking about this now, I kept my mouth shut for so long, and I've told this story like once or twice. I actually was going to tell it on PKA the last time I was there because we started talking about something that was like close enough to it that I remembered it, but before I could get a word in to start telling the story, the conversation shifted and I wasn't going to grab it and pull it back. But yeah, I knew Sandra Birchmore. I knew her since elementary school. We weren't like close back then, but like as time went on, we became acquaintances is what I'll call it. And we would talk from time to time. We would hit each other up every now and again. Um, we were friendly. She even came to my gym a few times. And like I said, she told me about the situation with the cop that she was dating that was a little bit possessive, and I told her, hey, you should probably get away from that guy, you know? And yeah, the only reason I'm talking about it right now is because Matt Farwell is in custody, right? He is being tried for the murder of Sandra Birchmore. That right there says that the state has decided they're not going to cover it up and go after anybody who was too loud about it. So because of that, I feel a little bit more comfortable being like, yes, I did know this girl. She was a nice girl. She was a little weird. She came from a weird background, kind of I would assume kind of a broken home situation, maybe a little bit of neglect, maybe a little bit of abuse. And because of that, she was pretty misunderstood, and it also helped her to develop some abnormalities in her personality, one of which was that she was an oversharer. If you want more information about the case itself, there's a podcast by some Barstool sports guy. It's called The Case Podcast with Kirk Minahan, however you say his name. It's season 2 of that. I would check it out because it gives a lot of information about the situation with her, you know? Can you walk to Gun Rock? You're okay? Fair enough, huh? What are you talking about? Um, you guys are talking about some shit. But yeah, I'm surprised that that one didn't blow up into a nationwide story. It kind of did a little bit, real like, but like it didn't blow up the way Karen Reed did. You know, this is a pregnant woman who was allegedly murdered by a police officer, and then it was covered up for the course of like a year or two. They called it a suicide, and everybody knew there was something fishy right away, but everybody was too scared to say something because they thought they'd be next, and that's me included. If I'm being honest with you, I was like, fuck, am I going to end up is a state trooper going to come to my house and he's going to be like, hey, so we're doing a wellness check, and then are they going to claim that I like pulled a gun, or like I reached for his gun, or I pulled a knife or something like that, or is something like that going to happen? I couldn't tell you for sure, if I'm being honest with you. So I kept my mouth shut for the better part of 5 years. You know, it's crazy. Anyway, Scott, are you a Turtle rider? I mean, yeah, I like Turtle Boy. You know, I think I remember when he first hit the scene in like 2016, 2017. He was fun to pay attention to. You know, actually, one of the things I did, I was talking about the Boston Antifa thing that I was a part of. One of the things I did, as kind of like a side quest, was I tried to start a rap beef with some of the guys that Turtle Boy talked about. It was like the 860. I remember it was 860 Money Crew. I remember these guys. I remember these guys. They were some fetal alcohol syndrome looking motherfuckers, and I tried to start a rap beef with those guys. And you know, it's funny. Like so many normies fell for the whole Antifa bit, as well as the Hunters Against the NRA bit, as well as the Journalist Excellence Worldwide bit. So many normies fell for that, but the fetal alcohol syndrome guys handled it pretty well. I got to be honest with you. There was one of them who inboxed me like, "Yo, do you want to fight?" But other than that, they were like, "This is fucking autistic, bro," and they just didn't. They owned me. If I'm being honest with you, I kind of got owned there. You know, it's just funny how the exact kind of guys you would expect to be like, "Nah, fuck you," they turned out to be smarter than a lot of the fucking normies. That's so funny, man. But anyway, you know what? I'm going, blah, blah, blah. I'm going down memory lane now. I want to show you guys. Oh, that's already. This is like, these guys are some of the worst rappers you're ever gonna hear. Oh no, fuck, his name was Two Smoke. Yes, yes, yes. Oh yes, oh yes. Just. Oh, just take it in. Just drink this in. Drink this in. See this? Drink it in right here. Just take a look at it. Take a fucking look at it. These guys are out of like Connecticut or something like that. It's the funniest fucking thing. We're not gonna listen to the whole thing. Just you're gonna get a feel. Sleeping with a kitchen knife.
Hey, hello? Who's this? You know I'm gonna be there at the money calling, you feel me? I bet.
Holy fucking shit, bro. I gotta show you this dude. I gotta show you this dude. We're gonna listen to another like 10-15 seconds. You see this dude right here? He got so mad. I said one of these dudes hit me up like, you want to fucking fight? This dude right here got so mad he hit me up. He was like, you want to fucking fight, dude? And I was like, yeah, bro. Where are we meeting? And he was like, meet me on this street in this town. And I was like, all right, bro, I'm on my way. I don't know if he actually went there or not. I would hope he went there. I would hope that he was like, he's got something to prove so much that he went there and he waited for like 6 hours just till the sun goes down. That's what I hope and pray. Scott, turn this off. I'm getting scared of this guy. Yeah. I can't wait to show you. Man. I can't wait to I gotta show you guys hold up. I gotta show you guys Big Boy Finesse. That's what I gotta show you guys. Fucking HIV, bro. That was like the thing people did back then too. It's crazy. This is almost 10 years old. That's like the thing people fucking did back then was like fucking let me do like the fucking thing over the eyes and everything. That's clearly just that's clear. Oh yeah. The hook is not actually the worst thing you've ever heard either. This is what what's it called? This is like the New England special, you know? Oh man. Like fucking this is the New England special is like the pillhead wigger. The pillhead wigger who thinks he's going to be a rapper, which is exactly that's like these are like a bunch of lil scripts. These are a bunch of lil scripts. I mean, like look at some of these dudes, right? Even this chick right here, it's like they got the hoe and it's like, oh. Looks like it could be fucking his fucking looks like she could be fucking her brother over here. They literally look like brothers and sisters. How many of these people do you think are dead? For one thing, right? That just hit me out of nowhere. Like, how many of these people do you think are dead? Not even because they had like ops and they're like trying to like you know, not like a gang war type thing, but literally because they got like fent. How many of these dudes do you think are dead? That's actually kind of like a staggering thought. Is like, oh man, fuck. Some of these people are There's no way all these people are alive. There's no way all these people are alive. And you know what? I have a feeling this dude right here is probably dead. He's got that look like he absolutely he doesn't even he doesn't even care. He knows it's Fent and he's still popping the pill. You know, he's still mainlining and shit like that. It's like, man, y'all got San Bernardino and Mass. Yeah, basically. This is Connecticut. I think this is like just over the Connecticut border though. Oh man. I got a slight sunburn here. I don't think you can see it on the camera, but I'm just noticing now. I went for a walk today. Man. But overdosing was their biggest op. Exactly. Fent was their biggest op. Some people are just made to survive a shift in life. Yeah. Some are not. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. You know. Man. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's man, that's crazy. But yeah, I figured out about those guys because of Turtle Boy and everyone is. I mean, like let's look right. Let's look right. 9 years ago, wish I could have the time back that I spent watching this. Behold, the next Team 10. Oh man, Team 10. That's a fucking flashback. Definitely the funniest thing I've ever watched. This should have 1,000,000 views. Had to record this trash quick before mom came home from bingo. You guys make Lil Yachty sound like Tupac. Go back to playing flashlight tag, kids. Fucking, uh, big boy finesse. I don't get no sex. I got a weird looking neck. I run up, but I get checked. Oh boy. Video shared and posted on. Oh boy. No thanks. I'm good on that. Rip Cheddar Pete to smoke. Ah, well. Like we said, you know, like we fucking said. You look like iDubbbz in the thumbnail. That's funny as fuck. Was this video shot in a special needs group home? Man. Man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. Is Two Smoke dead? Is Two Smoke really dead? I wanna see. No, no. Nope. I can't find anything anyway. I can't find anything anyway on him being dead. Two Smoke. Real name Peter Ducharme. I thought that was a crazy name for a dude, for a redhead white dude rapper who calls himself Two Smoke. But anyway, man, bless them. I hope all of them are alive and doing soup kitchen duty though. Oh yeah, you know, I wouldn't want anyone to die. I don't want anyone to die or anything like that. That's obviously not good. That's never a good thing when people pass away like that. But you know, it's just like man, oh man. Sorry, one sec. Man. Sorry, I'm like itching all over right now for some reason. Probably because of the sunburn a little bit, but oh man. You know, the passage of time has been getting to me a lot lately, you know. Being where I grew up, being in you know, my house, the house I grew up in again. I'm going for walks all around town like I used to, including at night, and I'm just going down memory lane and it is really palpable, you know, like how time just keeps marching on. When you're young, you're obviously aware of that fact, and it's not like I'm the first one to point this out or anything like that. Everybody knows this, everybody feels this way. But one of the things that really hit me the other day is that I used to refer to this place as my neighborhood, as my old neighborhood, and I'm realizing like, no, it was never my neighborhood. If anything, I was just borrowing it. You know, there's a whole new crop of kids that are growing up in my neighborhood, and like they probably look at me and they think, oh, who's that weird guy walking down the street? Like, does he even live around here? He probably doesn't even live around here. They're probably looking at me the same way I would look at adults in the neighborhood when I was growing up, running around doing stupid shit all day. Um, you know, it's just like you never get that time back, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing so much reflecting and I'm doing so much like thinking about how I need to make sure I do things right, because you know what? I have the rest of my life to live in the first place, but then in addition to that, I don't want my kids to waste their youth in the way that my youth got wasted for me. I didn't even waste my youth like that. My youth was wasted for me, you know? And I don't want to do that to my children. I don't want to rob them of the time and the energy that they will never get back, you know? It's really important to me. But anyway, them Wiggers got style. Yes, sir, they do. Yes, sir, they do. Is there a certain nostalgia to it though? Oh yeah, 100%. A million percent, you know. I still remember where everybody used to live. I could point out like just walking up and down the street, I could tell you like names of people. I could tell you you know, different memories that I have at certain houses and stuff like that. Even if it was just like a one off. Like I went to my friend's house down the street, and his neighbor and him were pretty close, and they were like, "Hey, you want to come over and use the pool?" And because I was there that day, I got to go over and use the pool too. Like I have those kinds of memories. You know, all the old stomping grounds, because you know, my old neighborhood had a bunch of wooded areas in it, and we would always hang out in the wooded areas during the summertime and everything like that. We would also use these wooded areas to get from one part of the neighborhood to the other. There were these different paths and shortcuts and things that we would take. And then there's like just the rest of the town as well, like, you know, all the surrounding area and everything. Um, you know, it was nice. It was nice, you know, it was really cool. And oh man, yeah, it's nostalgic for sure. You know, one of the things, because don't get me wrong, I didn't have the greatest upbringing. I don't think I had the worst upbringing either. You know, there were a lot of aspects of the way that I was raised that were not good, and a lot of like really bad memories that I have. But um, if there's one thing that I'm kind of learning to do, it's just to take the good. Just take the good, and don't let the bad taint the good memories, you know, because I have good memories, even if it's literally just like one day that happened and it was a good day. Like, um, you know, I don't need to be upset all the time about the bad stuff. Sometimes it's better to just remember the good stuff. It's good to know why the bad stuff happened so that you can keep going forward. But you know, you don't want to let the 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 bad stuff like taint the good stuff. I don't want to get older, and because I focus so much on the bad stuff, I forget the good memories and I only have the bad memories. I have a very good memory, an extremely good memory. I have the memory of an elephant, right? Um but like I'm not gonna remember every little thing. You know, there's no way I can. You know, fuck. I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, but like the challenge with that is being able to not hold on too tight to the bad stuff while also not completely letting it go either, because uh, one of the things that I can't stand is people who minimize the suffering that you went through by being like, nah, man, just let it go. Nobody lets anything go. The same people who will tell you to let something go are also always ready to bitch and moan about something that happened to them when they were a child, or like they're always ready to continue a beef from 5 years ago. They're just waiting for it to pop off with that guy again so that they can be like, and remember you did this thing. Nobody forgets anything. Nobody forgives anything. It's just the way people are. I think it's Christ-like to forgive and forget, but none of us are Christ. So you can't really expect it a ton. But everybody wants to sound like they're in a Leave It to Beaver episode. Everyone wants to sound like they're the dad in Full House, like talking down to the kids, like, well, DJ, sometimes you just gotta forgive and forget, and the music swells and the camera pans backwards, and then, you know, it cuts to black or whatever, right? Um, Everybody wants to sound like that, but like the fact is it pays to remember, it pays to understand certain things, you know. Like I can't let things that my parents did to me go, not because I'm angry about it, but because I know that the second I start being like, nah, it's cool, I'm just gonna move on from it, that's the second that they're gonna start more bullshit, you know? It's like literally, I got my mom a baseball card for her birthday. It was signed by Carl Yastrzemski. which was one of her favorite players growing up. And I was like, okay, let's do something nice for my mom. Me and my mom are not on the greatest of terms. We can talk with each other, but it's really awkward. It's really uncomfortable for me. And I don't always want to do it. I don't always want to be around my mom. Instead of my mom just taking the card and being like, whoa, thank you so much. I really like this. And then fucking off. Now she wants a hug on top of it. Like, that's the type of shit that I have to deal with. Is like, if I just move on and I forgive and I forget, it's not going to be a good thing. It's going to be, now I have to constantly deal with my mother encroaching on my space constantly. Now these people who ruined my life before it even began, they just get away with it, and they get to continue being the same way. They get to do the same shit. They get to say the same shit. They get to be the same way that they are. They don't have to help me to improve my life in any way, shape, or form. They just completely and totally get away with it. And they're acting entitled to it. They like to act entitled to it. They'll literally be like, just let it go. And other people will act as though they're entitled to it. They'll be like, no, you got to forgive and forget, man. And it's like, I really don't. It's not my job to be like, yeah, you fucked my life up. It's all good. That's not how that goes, you know? Um, and that's something that I think a lot of boomers are gonna have a hard time with, is like, they're gonna, and they are having a hard time with it, is like they're fucking their kids up. They're not giving them any legitimate help to build a life that is gonna be worthwhile. If anything, they give them horrible, terrible, bad advice that is only meant to self-aggrandize. They tell their kids to go to college for anything so that they can go to whatever boomer meetup they go to and go, my son's in college right now. My son's in college. That's right. My son, Junior's in college right now. That's right. My son. They love doing that shit, you know? Um, like, so many boomers out there are struggling with that fact that they, like, their kids had to move 100 miles away or more because they couldn't make it work around their parents. And now their parents are like, why don't you ever visit me? Why don't you ever visit me? I want to see the grandkids. Until they don't want to see, they want to see the grandkids until they don't want to see the grandkids, and they want you to fuck off. You know, it's like, it's gross, it's disgusting. You know, boomers. We all know about boomers. I don't need to go in on boomers that hard, but it's like what I'm dealing with is not an exclusive problem. It's not exclusive to me. I'm not the only one who deals with that problem. There's plenty of people who deal with that similar problem or the exact same problem of, like, my parents didn't raise me, and then they kicked me out of the house when I turned 18, and I had to figure out life on my own. I had nothing, I had no one. And now my parents are like, why don't you ever call me? Why don't you ever call me? Well, why don't you come over? I want to see the grandkids. It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, you know? Man. Scott's mad because he has to hug his mom. I am. True, the people who say let something go or get over it tend to be the people who have never been through some shit. Either that, or they're the people who put you through some shit, and it's their way of trying to further manipulate you into getting away with it, you know? Instead of them being like, you know, if that pissed you off that much, maybe I shouldn't have. It's get over it. Like, for instance, right? I when my grandfather died, I didn't get anything of his other than, like, trinkets that my mother was just going to throw away anyway, and I value those things, don't get me wrong. I, like, for instance, my grandfather died of COVID. He had a wallet that he was using for years that he went into the hospital with, and after they quarantined his belongings, they gave them back to my mom, and my mom gave me my grandfather's wallet, the last wallet that he used before he died. And I used that wallet up until earlier this year, when it was completely falling apart to the point that if I used it anymore, it was like I was gonna have to throw it away. So now I keep it with other things that are dear to me, near and dear to me, right? And I have my own wallet. But when it comes to the assets that my grandfather left behind, he left behind 2 properties. One of them was in New Hampshire. It was not in great shape, but it was still a property that could have been utilized for something. And then there was his house. So 2 houses, essentially. What my mother did was decide to sell the house in New Hampshire, and then she decided to sell her half of my grandfather's house in Massachusetts to my aunt, who then moved in and remodeled, sold the house that she already had equity in, and my brother and I just got fucking nothing on that level. My mom said that my brother and I were going to get $5,000 out of the deal. We never got the $5,000. I even asked my brother, yo, did you get money one day? Did you get a check? Did you get like a Venmo or something? He's like, nah, I never got something like that. So when I'm arguing with my mom about it, I'm like, yeah, and you never got that. Like, you never gave me that $5,000. You never gave my brother that $5,000 either. And my dad was like, why do you think we owe you $5,000? I was like, I don't think you owe me. You said you were going to give me the money. You never gave it to me. Mom tried to act like she did so that she could be like, we do help you, but she never did. It's just a simple fact. I don't know what to fucking tell you. You didn't. And then when he realized, oh fuck, maybe we fucked up, he changed his tune to, well, just let it go. Just let it go. Why can't you just let it go? It's like that's the type of shit you're dealing with when you deal with a boomer. Is like we're gonna take everything we don't need and we're gonna sell it so that we have powder laying around. We have some liquid laying around, and you can get fucked. You can get fucked. You end up homeless. I don't care. Whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. You know. And then when you're like, hey, you said you were going to give me something, but you never did. Like literally, I didn't bring that up either. Like, I wasn't like, and I never got that 5,000 that you were going to give me. No, literally, like my mom, as a means to try and hold it over my head, was like, and we gave you and your brother $5,000 each. I was like, no, you didn't. I looked through my bank statements. I never got a $5,000 deposit. That would have been the most money I ever received at that point. $5,000. I think I would have remembered that. And I asked my brother, and he never got anything like that either. And then all of a sudden it's, well, let it go. Let it go. We didn't owe you that money. Let it go. It's like, you piece of shit, you know? You piece of shit. I had to force my mom to basically apologize to me for the abuse when I was young. Gave my dad the same opportunity, just basically blame my mom for everything. Guess who I still talk to today? Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, I'm cooler with my dad because my dad is a lot cooler with me now. My dad is a lot cooler with me today. And even though it's still uncomfortable, even though like when I'm around him, my skin crawls a little bit, um, things are a lot better between he and I. We can at least talk with each other, you know, and it's because he has actually made an effort, you know, and I appreciate that. Oh yeah, I mean the sanction one, it's a lot of pressure being back there waiting to walk out. Oh, when did you send that one, Kurt? I feel like that didn't get sent until like a second ago. Nostalgia quite a bitch. It's like that quote about how you never knew you were making memories until it's over. I'm just there for the good times at all. I'm just glad for the good times. Um, True, the people who say to let something go or get over it tend to be the people. Oh, I've already read that one from Yeah Buddy. Yeah, you know, like, dude, I was almost in tears the other day, yesterday specifically. I was driving, right? And I told you guys about the Boston Antifa thing, and I was kind of thinking about that. I was like literally from like start to finish for the Boston Antifa thing. I was just thinking about like the fun that I had making videos and how fun it was to be in a Discord server with all these other people who were doing the same thing, and all the really cool stuff that I got to do because I was a part of that. And you know, I was thinking about how those people are and what they're up to now, and it just had me like, I was like, I wanted to like, whoa, a little bit, because it was just you know, you don't know you're in the good times until they're gone, you know. And I kind of had a feeling I was in the good times a little bit. I guess I kind of had a feeling that I was in the good times, but I figured there were better times on the way. And I guess in a certain sense there were, because you know what, like getting to meet all of these YouTubers, a lot of which were people that like I can remember being in high school, goofing off in class, pulling up their videos, like Epic Mealtime, Froggy Fresh, and stuff like that. It was so cool to get to meet those guys. It's so cool that I got to make a brief cameo in a video that is on the Epic Mealtime channel. That's so fucking awesome to me. But like I really think that some of the best times in my life were from 2017 to 2021 when I was involved with the activism. I think I was just built for that kind of thing. I was built for that kind of stuff. It filled a void in my life, especially because I didn't have MMA anymore for those couple of years. A couple of years, like from like it was midway through 2016, and in fact, it's actually going to be if it hasn't been 10 years, it's going to be 10 years and a couple of weeks since I got into the first argument that I got into with the owner of my gym, where we went our separate ways, and then like we would link up again 2.5, 3 years later. So like when I got kicked out of my gym, I had a giant void, and that's what the Boston Antifa thing, as well as the activism thing, filled. It filled that void, and I met some really cool cats, and I had some really fun times, some really cool times, and I miss the hell out of that, man. I miss it so much, dude. You know. Um, to be honest, you should have gratitude for nostalgia. A lot of people didn't live this long. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, nostalgia's a bitch, but it's a fun bitch. you know, it's a bitch you shouldn't be fucking around with, but it can be, quite fun. It can be quite fun. I'm never gonna forget those times, and if I do, then I hope there's some way to remember them, some way to relive them when I do pass on, to that other side. I hope I get into heaven. I hope that, Christ judges me worthy. Nobody's worthy, but you know what I mean by that. And I hope that when I do enter into that kingdom, if I am, chosen, if God has mercy on me, I hope that when I do enter into that kingdom, that there is some way for me to kind of go back and, relive that. I don't even know like what is heaven? What is heaven? I'm sure there's like some explanations of it, and I'm sure there's some extrapolations from the explanations in the Bible. But I don't know, maybe heaven will be so great that I won't even feel a need to do that, you know? But either way, right now, the best I got is from the year of mid 2017 to 2021, 2020. 2020, 2021 that's the best times of my life. And I've had some other really good times of my life. The summer of 2013, that was the year I graduated. Best summer of my life, hands down. 2015 was a great summer because like there was just a lot of fun shit that I did the summer of 2015. I miss those times. Man, man, oh man, oh man. Any love for the Scottish? Of course. I am also a little bit Scottish. Scott doing live streams in heaven, bro. Hey, if they got a setup, I'll do them. Scott was born too late to work for Jimmy Hoffa, born just in time for Fish Tank, dude. Like, hold up. Actually, hold on. I don't know what the fuck that was. I hear a car screeching outside, and then when I go to look, the car is like it's like here, and it keeps driving, so I couldn't see anything other than that it was like a silver car. I would assume it was a sedan, but yeah, that's weird and annoying. But yeah, like when I'm feeling like an idiot, when I'm being an idiot and thinking about like adventure, one of the things that happens sometimes is I do think like, what if I was in the mafia, dude? Dude, that'd be pretty sick. Just being in the mafia, get to hang around all day. You know, go get some fucking gabagool. Hey, give me some of that gabagool. You know, dude, is the mafia still around? Like, where do I apply to become part of the mafia? Where do I become part of the mafia? Like, am I Italian enough to be part of the mafia? Like, will they make me like a mafia guy? Am I Italian enough? I am like pretty Italian. I just don't look it. Like maybe I'm Italian enough. Yeah, you know. It's like when I'm at my job and I'm just like not feeling it that day. I'm just like, man, imagine I just walk around doing that all day. That's respect. Oh, when Scott dies, he's gonna wake up and be streaming to the same 14 people. I'm in heaven. Yep. It's gonna be High Ecuador 14 times. It's gonna be 14 High Ecuadors is what it's gonna be. It's Letty's agents monitoring and gang stalking you, Scott. Yeah, I don't blame her. I'm an interesting guy. You know, in another life, me and Letty would have gotten married. In another life, me and Letty would have fallen in love. We would have been Romeo and Juliet. We would have been married. Man. But yeah. It is about that time I get out of here. I'm having a good time, and I would stream longer, but I got work tomorrow, so I kind of got to get ready for that. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, I got to take a mean shit. Soon as I hit that buy screen, I'm gonna hop up and I'm gonna go take a mean shit. So I will talk to you guys later. All right. Thank you all for coming in. Today was a really good stream. I feel like it was a really good stream. Thank you everybody who tuned in. Thank you so much. Oh, speaking of Letty, did you see that fight Letty's new BF got into over a taco? Letty has a boyfriend and he got into a fight over a taco? No. Although that does sound interesting. I would appreciate if someone would send that to me because I'm curious about that. But anyway, I do got to head out. All right. If somebody could send me that, I would like to watch it though. It sounds funny. Yeah. Till next time. Peace out.
Suck Sullivan, don't mess with his load, or you will get undone. Spinning round and round, bleeding on the ground. Scotty Rocker, laundry killer, no remorse in this beamer. Fabric assassin, hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine, no use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Push your nigga